Hi, I'm Alahni Becks and I study cancer.
Context that my school was
And so Tuskegee University researchers, James Henderson and Russell Brown, were two of the researchers that were commissioned to actually grow these cells, those HeLa cells, because they can only grow them in small numbers. They were commissioned to grow them in larger batches so that they would be able to study them and then develop and test them on this vaccine that they were trying to develop.
Did you learn anything?
Yes.
What'd you learn?
Learned about cervical cancer. Community outreach is important.
All right. How can
That Alabama has the #1 death rates as far as cervical cancer cases. So they have a lack of.
All right. You ready to do some more?
Yes.
And the virus that causes cervical cancer is H1N1.
All right.
Yes.
I learned a lot of leadership skills with my research, and as well as learning about prostate cancer. So that's what my lab is focused on, and mainly on the disparity between African Americans and Caucasian Americans, and the genetic differences between the two groups. And so with that research, I've learned a lot of different lab techniques, including ELISA, immunohistochemistry, PCR, and Western blot, and also cell culture. And also with the research, we went to the AACR annual meeting this past April, and with that meeting, I got to meet a lot of different doctors and researchers around the world who do cancer research on different types of cancers. So I got to learn a lot, not only about the cancers I do research on, but the other cancers that exist, and also just to see how much time and effort people actually put into prostate cancer, cancer research, and just trying to figure out, how to treat them and how to figure out more about the biochemistry of the cancers. It was really interesting. It's a good learning experience.
That level the people in the committee, but if you see my publications, out of 100 plus publications, half of them are African Americans.
Please tell me about your summer experience. This is a video. Yo, you sign that.
So like if the participant couldn't read that well, So now I'm going to take Moya into the lab and show her how I help fight cancer. The cells are here. So he wants me to add 2 mils into each of these flasks, and then 1 mil each into each of these. Okay, 2 mils. So 2 mils of this cell solution into each of these, so that's 4, and then 1 mil goes. solution, and we basically use it to wash the cells or like get all the excess old media off. So you have it, they're kind of like spreading out. You see them?
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, those are the cells. I thought it was gonna be boring, but mounting tissue on slides is actually fun. Thank you for coming to my lab.
Alahni Becks, summa cum laude.
Hello everybody, my name is Moya Cross. I am a second year CRIS student as well as a rising junior at Tuskegee University. And today I will be giving my lightning talk on exploring WDR4 and its relationship with breast cancer. Here is a brief overview of my poster board, which I will be talking in depth about. Breast cancer is one of the most common cancers and a major cause of death in women. African American women are at a higher risk for developing aggressive triple-negative breast cancer. In order to identify biomarkers that may be useful targets or predictive, we did an analysis of breast cancer patients using UroCan. Although many efforts have been made to identify cancer biomarkers and targets for breast cancer, the problem still remains. Breast cancer is the leading cause of death amongst women, and our analysis showed increased expression of WDR4 gene in aggressive breast cancer. The WDR4 gene could be used as a therapeutic target or biomarker for predicting survival rates. And WDR4 is overly expressed in African Americans from ages 21 through 40 and 81 through 100. In later stages of breast cancer, with the presence of WDR4, patient p-value is lowered, as well as the patient survival rate is stabilized. And WDR4 is not effective in Asians as it is in patients in other races. That concludes everything. This is my first time doing a research poster all by myself, so I'm open to any feedback or any suggestions that you all may have. Again, thank you to the CRIS program, to UAB for allowing me this wonderful opportunity. And if you all have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey, Dr. Whittington.
How's it going?
Good, good.
Okay. So basically we want to do an update. So first of all, please tell us your name. When did you graduate? What was your major? And then where are you now?
Okay, so my name is Alahni Becks. I graduated from Tuskegee University December of 2019, and my major was biology. And now I am a year one medical student at Morehouse School of Medicine in Atlanta, Georgia.
Awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations. And so how was day one? And then basically how was your first week?
So day one, I kind of hyped myself up. You know, they say medical school is hard and everything, but I think Morehouse kind of eases you into medical school. So it's a lot, but it's not too much to handle if you have a study schedule. So it was definitely a lot of information, and that's how it's been since day one. I've been for 2 weeks now. This is week 2. So it's just, you get like new lectures every day, and they don't go back to the information. So it's kind of like you have to keep up the pace. And that's the hardest thing for me and my classmates, is basically trying to make sure we stay on top of our game. Once you get behind, you're kind of stuck behind until you can find a way to catch up. So that's the main thing. It's a lot. It's a lot of information all at one time, and you just have to like take it, digest it, and then move on.
Okay. So want to ask you some questions that inquiring minds want to know. We heard that you recently received a scholarship. Is this true? And tell us about it.
Yes, it is true. I received a call from my Army recruiter a couple days ago, and he informed me that I received the Army HPSP scholarship, which is basically a full ride. So the military is going to pay for my tuition and fees, and I'm also going to get a monthly stipend on top of that to help with like living expenses. And when I graduate, I will be a second lieutenant in the United States Army.
Awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
So one great thing is, like, you prepared for this. You had a goal, and you put in action your efforts to make this all solidify. So just walk us through the steps of, preparing to take the MCAT, preparing to apply for medical school, mm-hmm. and then, actually applying for your scholarship as well. What all was actually put into that?
Okay. Well, I think for one, all three of them require patience. Like the MCAT, med school, and the Army, they all require patience. And I learned that because starting with the MCAT, so I think the best way to study for the MCAT is basically to do good in your school classes first, and then make sure you have the right resources for actually studying for the test. I wouldn't recommend studying for the test during the semester if you can help it, because I tried it and it did not work for me. I could not fit in MCAT studying because my classes were too hard. So I had to study over the summer. But I used Khan Academy. It's free and it's a really good resource for MCAT studying. So I used Khan Academy mostly, and then I had the free MCAT books from the Chris study program. They gave us those Kaplan books. So those work too. And I think the main thing about studying for the MCAT is make sure that you have a strict study schedule that you actually follow day to day, because it keeps you level and it keeps you on track of what subjects you need to go over. It lets you know what your week in, and then also doing practice exams. So practice exams help me because it helps you get the feel of the real test, because it's a long test. It's like a 7.5-hour test. So you have to kind of build up endurance to be able to sit for 7.5 hours and really like stretch your mind to kind of get a good score on the test, because taking it more than once is hard. So you kind of want to get it done one and done. So that's the main thing, is just being patient with yourself too, because it gets frustrating. Like a lot of times when I was studying, I felt like super dumb, like, oh my gosh, I don't know this, or when did I learn this, or things like that. So it kind of makes you doubt like your own intelligence and your own ability to actually become a physician. But if you can get through undergrad and you can like actually start studying for the MCAT, you can be a doctor, because it's hard. It's really hard.
Okay.
That's the main thing for the MCAT, is just being disciplined, having patience, and just like knowing that you are capable of actually taking the test and getting a good enough score to get you into medical school. Because I felt I had imposter syndrome the whole summer studying for the test. The whole summer I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot do this. But I'm in medical school, so
all right, congratulations.
You can make it through. And applying to med school, one thing for me, my parents weren't that well off, so I was actually able to get the fee assistance program. So that helped me a lot, because it took away the financial burden of applying to medical school. This is expensive. And so the fee assistance program for me, I didn't have to pay for any of the AAMC MCAT resources. They were all free to me. The MCAT, the actual MCAT exam was at a discounted price. It was like $125, and it's normally like $375. And then all of my primary applications were free. I applied to 19 schools for free. So, and then most of my secondaries were free as well. So the only thing I had to pay for is really traveling to interviews if I needed to.
Okay.
Yeah. So applying to medical school, the earlier the better. That is true. The earlier the better, because you have a better chance of them seeing your application and inviting you for an interview. I think mine was kind of considered late, because I turned in my application, but they don't look at it until your MCAT scores are put in there. I didn't take my MCAT until the end of June, so they didn't get my scores until the end of July. So mine was kind of like later-ish, but I still got interviews, so it was still good for me. The main thing with that is just making sure you have strong, very strong letters of recommendation. Because during my interviews, a lot of my interviewers told me that your letters are really strong. And I was like, yeah, because I chose the right professors. I had the right, the good relationships with like you and Dr. Wong, Dr. Martinez, and Dr. Russell. They were all the professors that I asked to write letters. And my interviewers all said that your letters are strong. And I knew they would be because we had a good relationship throughout undergrad. Mm-hmm. So that's good. Your personal statement has to be you. Like, how can I explain this so that makes sense? It has to be, it's basically you on a paper. So it has to be, like, of course, why you want to go to medicine. That's the main reason why you go to medical school, right? So like, it has to be why you want to go to medicine, but it also has to be a way of you kind of portraying yourself and like your true self to the people who are going to read your paper. It took me 6 months to write my recommendation. Write my personal statement. It took me 6 months. I started January of 2019. And I revised it so many times because it didn't feel right. I read and I'm like, this is not me. Like, this is not what I would actually say. So I had to keep rewriting it. And when I finished it, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't 100% think that it was the strongest, paper I could have written, but I feel like it was the truest to me and to what I felt why I wanted to get in medical school. And it was grammatically correct and everything. I had to check by a couple of my English professors to make sure it was, correct. But it felt like me. So when I turned in my application, I felt confident that whoever read it would get to know kind of like the essence of who I am before they knew me. So I guess that's my advice for personal statements. Make sure it's you. Mm-hmm. Don't try to force it to be, like something else. Don't make up a story or anything like that. If you don't have like a story, it's okay. Like everyone has one. You just have to figure out what it is to you. Because some people are like, oh yeah, my grandma had cancer and then that's what got me into medicine, things like that. I didn't have a story like that. My family was relatively cool. We got some diabetes here and there, but it's, it's not like a really, kind of tragic story medically. So I didn't have that. So I had to figure out something else. And one more thing, your application is your experiences. So I had a lot of good experiences, especially the research. I think if I counted, I had over 1,000 hours of research to put into my my application. Okay. But the main thing is, so for me, because a lot of people say you need clinical research, you need clinical experience, you need clinical experience. That's what everyone says. When I turned in my application, I had 3 hours, I'm not gonna lie, 3 hours of contact with a medical professional. Okay. Just 3 hours. And that is what I literally put that in my application. I was like, listen, I don't have a lot of clinical experience, but I have research, and
tell us about the CRISP program and like, what did you do? And do you think it was beneficial? All that type of stuff.
So the CRISP program stands for Cancer Research Immersion Student Program or Student Program. I don't know. Yeah, one of those. But it's it's year long. So undergrads can do research with faculty during the school year at Tuskegee, and then during the summer you have a summer research program. So the summer that I was in it, we went to Birmingham, and we did research at UAB with a research mentor. And so the research there, of course, was geared around cancer. And some of the researchers had like wet labs, but mine was more in public health. So it was a public health research. But I think that was kind of cool though, because my Tuskegee mentor was Dr. Wong, and Dr. Wong does a lot of wet lab. So I got to see wet lab research and then the other side of cancer, which is like public health. So I got to do both. And so during the summer, we got to stay in apartments. We all stayed in the same apartment building, all of the interns. And we just basically went to UAB every day and worked with our research mentors. Some of us got to work on papers. Did I tell you I got published?
Oh no, you didn't say that.
Yeah, I got a paper from that research program.
Oh yes, you have to send that to me.
Yeah, I gotta send it to you. But yes, like that's good thing too. I got published. I got a paper. I'm like the 3rd author on it. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was really cool. So it gives you good experiences. So I added that to my CV, and I had posters and stuff, but this was like my first paper. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm published now. But yeah. It was really good because my mentor, she was super nice. She was really helpful. Like she offered to write me a letter of recommendation, everything. Like she was really, really helpful. during the summer program. And then that's also where I got to meet a couple of med students at UAB, and they kind of helped mentor me through the application process as well. So if I had like questions or problems, I could text them and they would kind of give me guidance. They were really nice too. But even the research is interesting because I never did public health research before, and I didn't know I liked public health until I did that program. So it was really fun. And then after that, we had the symposium at the end that was in Atlanta, and we all got to show our research to everyone. Dr. Brian Rivers, who is actually faculty at Morehouse School of Medicine, he was there too. There was a lot of Morehouse med students that were there, and I actually got first place for the undergrad poster presentation. So yeah, it was really cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really fun. So it was definitely beneficial because it was one of the main things I added onto my application for med school. So, and it added a lot of research hours there too. So yeah.
And then you also did some other conferences after that, after the cancer conference for Chris. Was it you went to, was it ERN or
Abricams? Yeah, I went to Abricams. I didn't go to ERN. Yeah, I was out of school by then.
Okay.
Yeah, Abricams was fun too. It was my first time going to California. It was really fun. Yeah, I like that one. I didn't win anything, but it was still good. It was good.
I mean, it was still an accomplishment to actually go and present the work that you did for the Chris program.
Right.
You did get a travel award, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, so I won a travel award, so they paid for my hotel.
Okay. Okay. So you did win. You win before you even got there. So that's still a win-win.
Yeah.
So how has COVID affected your life at this point?
Oh man. I think the main thing that annoys me with COVID, personally, is not being able to actually be in class. I feel like for a medical school student, it's important to actually be able to talk to your professor in person, talk to your classmates in person. I don't know if we want to have lab, like anatomy lab in person. And I feel like that's something that's important. Like I want to be able to, go in there, see the cadavers, look at the bodies physically, instead of like doing online things. We haven't started anatomy lab yet. We don't start that until August or September. But the way that the world is going now, people don't want to wear their masks. I highly doubt that we are going to be able to do anything in person at this point. Like we had to get COVID testing before we could even step foot on campus. I was negative, COVID free, but
I got my test done today. So yeah. Waiting on my results.
It took like a day to get mine, but it wasn't bad. But yeah, I was negative. I think all of the students tested negative, but they still won't let us on campus. So it's in that regard, it's really annoying. But one good thing is a lot of us stay in the same apartment building. And so even though we can't be on campus, we still like have study groups together, things like that. So it's not like I'm not totally alone, like I have classmates that I can talk to and things like that. And then my family's only 2 hours away. So if I needed to go home for something, it's just like a drive down the highway. So it's not like affecting me like mentally or emotionally. It's just that not being able to go to class is really annoying.
Okay. When you got your test, did they do like the nasal swab, or like I think there might be another one that they're doing, the antibody test?
They did the nasal swab, but they didn't go all the way up there like people were complaining about. They kind of I think they went like an inch and then kind of like swabbed and then did the other one. It wasn't that bad in my opinion, but some of my classmates are crying about it and they're like, "Oh my God, it was really bad." No, I'm like, "It wasn't that bad."
When I got it done today, he got the longest swab possible. He stuck it all the way in there and wiggled it around for a second and then pulled it out. I said, I wouldn't want a stranger to do this.
They gave us the good one. I'm glad, because when they said nasal swab, I was like, oh Lord, I'm not gonna be able to do it. It wasn't that bad. For me, it wasn't that bad. I was like, all right, I just, you gotta just relax and just be like, all right, just do it, get it over with. Yeah.
Oh, so another thing, like during your senior year, didn't you complete everything by December? So you actually had technically a semester off?
Yeah. That's an accomplishment. I've been undergraduate 3.5 years instead of 4. I was proud of myself for that. And I finished summa cum laude. So
yes, there you go.
Yeah. Stay into your studies, kids.
So what'd you do when you were off for the semester?
I worked as a scribe. So I was a medical scribe for a Well, he was a orthopedic surgeon, but he specialized in hand surgery, and so I was a scribe for him. So I just went to the clinic every day, wrote all the notes, went to bring him to all the patients. It was really fun though, because I know a lot of the things that we're gonna start doing in classes is like clinic based, you know, and you have to know how to take patient history and things like that. And I know how to do that already. So I'm kind of, you know, like above, not above the curve, but like in front of the curve or whatever. But yeah, so that stuff will be like more review to me. That kind of help people out. They get, you know, have trouble getting patient history or physical exam, things like that. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going to clinic every day, seeing new patients and stuff. Eventually, it kind of got redundant, but I think all clinic does, because if you're a physician, you want to see the same stuff every day. So we saw the same things every day, like arthritis and trigger fingers and stuff like that, carpal tunnel. But it was still interesting to see it every day though. It's like everyone had different symptoms, people had different stories, and it actually got easier for me because sometimes I could like anticipate what a physician would say before he'd say it. So sometimes I would have the note done before the clinic visit was actually done. So it was kind of cool.
Okay. So let's think about your undergrad experience. Number one, tell me, you know, your Tuskegee experience. Was it beneficial? How was your experience in your undergrad department? And then your advising experience. And then would you recommend Tuskegee to other students?
Okay. So I didn't start out at Tuskegee. I think that's important to mention that I didn't start at Tuskegee. I actually started at Augusta University. So I stayed home for a year. And then I transferred to Tuskegee because I did not like Augusta University. So I transferred to Tuskegee. And what's crazy is I knew about Tuskegee since I was like a freshman in high school, and I always wanted to go there. So when I left AU, I was like, of course I'm going to Tuskegee. Where else would I go? And so when I got to Tuskegee, it was a little hard at first because I was like 4 hours away from home. It was the first time I was that far away from home for that long. But the transition academically wise for me wasn't my biggest challenge, because I feel like the professors that I had kind of explained the material well, and plus I studied a lot, so academics to me never was like really a huge challenge. The main thing for me was just getting used to the culture of Tuskegee. But like Tuskegee was always, in my opinion, like very welcoming. Like it was a place you could just kind of be there and you will naturally fit in with a group of friends. You'll naturally find some professors who you kind of just gravitate to, whose classes you like better. You'll have clubs that you join and you'll make more friends. You know, there's always things to do on campus. And academically wise, Tuskegee is challenging, but it gets you ready for whatever next step that you're trying to go to. So would I recommend Tuskegee? Tuskegee gets like a 12 out of 10. Would highly recommend for me, because like, I don't like Tuskegee. Like I wear these sweaters all the time. Like everyone at Morehouse knows that I went to Tuskegee. Like I do not take my Tuskegee stuff off. I will rant about Tuskegee all day long. My advising experience, like you guys are great. You, Dr. Wong, Dr. Martinez, Dr. Russell. I refer to all of you guys as like my advisors, because you all helped me through undergrad and like, you know, in one way or another. You know, like Dr. Wong was my research advisor and she helped me with a lot. Like she was very understanding, and through lab, like every single day in lab, she would always help me out. And then the PhD student I was working with, Maury, he would help me out too. Like everyone was so helpful, and no one really, like even if I did something wrong in lab, she wouldn't even like scold me for it. She'd just be like, well, you make mistakes, you know, and then you can just fix it. And I'm just like, okay, you know, and then you basically got me into the CRISP program and then like helped me get all these research opportunities, and then the AACR meeting, the AdvoCams meeting, all these cancer research and different, you know, conferences that I probably would have never heard of, you know, or never would have gone to. So you guys helped me get these different experiences that I probably would never have done if I didn't, you know, form this relationship with you guys and actually kind of just like grow that and just talk to you guys every day. You know, like we both made efforts to make sure that we were communicating with each other. So I think that was important too. You know, like some students kind of just go through undergrad, and don't really have like a set professor or, someone that they will kind of talk to kind of guide them through. But I knew that to get anywhere successful, you have to have people with you, so I had friends, and then I had professors, and then I had my family, of course, to kind of, guide me through undergrad. And so that really helped me out, because if I didn't have you guys, I probably wouldn't be here right now. So there's a lot of things that you guys made possible for me. So yeah, of course, advising at Tuskegee in the biology program specifically, because that was my program, is really good. Is probably the best. I want to say it's the best. So if you're in the biology program, you got some good advisors, that will kind of back you up and help you, whatever program, dentistry, medicine, PhD, whatever, like they will get you there.
Thank you for those accolades. Thank you. So it sounds like you definitely would recommend Tuskegee, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, appreciate that. So once again, want to say congratulations. We're proud of you, definitely. We definitely speak your praises on a very regular basis. And thank you for doing this interview. And we will definitely post this, and we're gonna put it all over the place. So just so you know,
yeah. I want to see it.
It's gonna be out there in the world. Okay, so it's gonna be out there, just so you know. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
Hey, you.
You know.
Okay. Oh, by the way, now you have to send me your publication.
Oh yeah, okay. I have to find it. It's somewhere in the email somewhere. I got it.
Yeah, you gotta send me that publication so I can read that. So congratulations on that again.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alahni Becks, and I study